Biden's ATF is crafting more legislation. The ghost gun busters are targeting both private citizens and private firearms dealers in the name of regulating ghost guns through the Biden ATF's Newspeak. Welcome to 2A for Today. Two-A for Today is a program where we explore all things Second Amendment, all things that protect, threaten, and violate our God-given and Second Amendment protected rights. My name is Zoe, and I'm the host of 2A for Today.
They say I'm part of a global plan. I don't think so. It's too hot, it's too cold. You know what? The weather changes.
Here's the news, Dad.
Nope. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days.
Ditch the fake news and always get the truth. Go to thenewamerican.com.
Biden's ATF and the U.S. Department of Justice are once again reenacting George Orwell's 1984 by manipulating the meaning of words. Now, they're classifying firearm parts as firearms and changing the definition of firearm to include unfinished pistols that would only require a small amount of time and effort to complete. And to top it off, they want to punish gun manufacturers that sell firearms without serial numbers. Let's turn to the Constitution and see if we can find where the national government is given enumerated power to do that. You hear the crickets? In recent years, we've seen the Commie Drug Corp, rather the Criminal Disease Coalition, you know what I mean, the CDC, change the definition of vaccine. Merriam Webster changed the definition of anti-vaxxer. Even the Bidet Administration twisted the term economic recession. Now, Newspeak is trespassing the firearms industry. The ATF has made clear in a late December memo that they decree that partially complete pistol frames are frames and also firearms. Even a pistol frame that has no associated jig and doesn't operate as a firearm is now defined a firearm and requires serial numbers, background checks, and those engaged in the business of selling them must be licensed dealers simply because they may possibly be used in a crime. This is a persistent theme. Again, crime prevention policies only serve to trample public liberty and make criminals of free people. A coalition of 24 attorneys general are banding together by signing an amicus brief calling for the ban of ghost guns with removed serial numbers. These AGs want to overturn an October ruling by a federal judge in West Virginia, where the judge cited the Bruin decision as a reason to strike down the ATF's unconstitutional reach around. The West Virginia judge responded that this is the definition of an infringement of one's right to possess a firearm. The AGs replied by saying that the removal of serial numbers is a clear indicator that a gun has been illegally trafficked and is being used or possessed for unlawful purposes. The problem is, by making this broad generalization, lawmakers are now criminalizing innocent people and businesses that manufacture firearm parts. The NYPD has seized over 430 ghost guns in 2022. And the year before that, New York made it illegal to possess or sell ghost guns and unfinished firearm frames. Mayor Adams filed lawsuits against 5 online ghost gun distributors, and Attorney General Letitia James filed an additional 10 lawsuits against these distributors. A removed serial number does not make a weapon more dangerous, and requiring serial numbers will not prevent crime, only potentially help track down the offender after the fact. This ATF rule originally took effect in August, and it began to immediately affect both large and small retailers. This was thanks in large part to the pressure that UPS and FedEx felt, which prompted them to update their policies, stating that they are no longer willing to ship unserialized frames or receivers per the ATF's upcoming regulations. Pew Pew Tactical reported back in August that companies like 80% Arms and Grid Defense received letters from UPS that their shipments appeared to be violating applicable laws concerning the shipment of ghost guns to unauthorized locations. Then came the October ruling that the ATF's policy was unconstitutional by the West Virginia judge. Even so, the ATF stiffened their necks and stamped their feet in defiance in that late December memo, further commanding that partially complete Polymer 80, Lone Wolf, and similar striker-fired semi-automatic pistol frames including but not limited to those sold within parts kits, have reached a stage of manufacture where they may be readily completed, assembled, restored, or otherwise converted to a functional frame. Therefore, even without any associated templates, jigs, molds, equipment, tools, instructions, guides, or marketing materials, these partially complete pistol frames are frames, and also firearms, as defined in the GCA, the Gun Control Act, in its implementing regulations. It should be interesting to see how Biden's mission to close the ghost gun loophole continues to develop, and what sophistry they will employ to try and ward off the inevitable legal and constitutional challenge. Does this seem to you like an attack on businesses, the firearms industry, and private property? Why didn't our founders think it was necessary to address serial numbers? According to Eugene Volokh, who writes for Reason.com, serial numbers were not broadly required for all firearms manufactured and imported in the United States until the passage of the Gun Control Act of 1968. Notably, these prohibitions were only on transporting, shipping, or receiving firearms. And even then, serial number requirements only applied to firearms in the stream of commerce. Even in 1968, there was no prohibition on mere possession of a firearm that had the serial number altered or removed. In fact, it wasn't a crime until the Crime Control Act of 1990 that in Section 922 was amended to insert or to possess or receive any firearm which has had the importer's or manufacturer's serial number removed, obliterated, or altered and has at any time been shipped or transported in interstate or foreign commerce. So, if a law-abiding citizen inherits a firearm that already has had the serial number removed, they could effectively be charged with possession of an illegal firearm. Thankfully, the Bruin decision held that criminalizing citizens simply for owning a gun without a serial number went beyond commercial regulation and therefore was an infringement by the national government that was opposed to the text of the Second Amendment. So what's next? Keeping an international registry of household products that can be used to make crystal meth, since drugs are illegal? Or how about serializing and confiscating hammers and clubs, since more people are killed with them than rifles each year? I guess I better stop talking like this, though. I don't want to give them any ideas.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
That concludes our program for today, but again, in the coming weeks and months, 2A for Today, we'll be talking to experts, scholars, trainers, and all forms of gun right activists and Second Amendment proponents to answer the many questions that we all have and unpack the various laws and trespasses of our rights that have already been enacted and those that are on the horizon. Again, if the Second Amendment's important to you, make sure to subscribe to the New American Magazine, get on the top daily headlines mailing list, and you'll get an email alert anytime we upload a video or stream a live event. And share these videos with your family and friends who feel the same or those that are riding the fence between liberty and tyranny who need a little more convincing. You've been watching 2A for Today. My name is Zoe. Post your comments or questions and we'll try to address as many as we can, as fast as we can in the coming weeks and months. Thank you for watching 2A for Today.
Hi, I'm Alan Keyes. I'm the host of IMTV's daily talk show about news and events in America. And I want to say a good word for the New American Magazine. Not only because Alex Newman has joined us as somebody who is periodically hosting a show, but because New American Magazine represents a alternative media that is willing to tell people the truth. With so much fake news spreading about, and the fact that right now this country's in an existential crisis, we remember who we are and where we come from and what our principles are, or we die. Reading New American Magazine can keep you up to the minute on the issues that are challenging us as a people and on which that survival hangs. You can check it out and subscribe at www.thenewamerican.com.